Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well this amazing Wednesday. Welcome to Alita International Consultants meet and greet. You're going to be meeting some of our amazing coaches here just in a minute. My name is Jordan Mendoza. I'm actually one of the consultants that works with Alita, and we're so excited to be able to just hang with you guys a little bit. It's going to be very informal. I'm going to be bringing up all the other coaches that are a part of the association here in just a second. And we're broadcasting, guys, on multiple platforms. So I'm not sure where you're tuning in from, but wherever you are, we appreciate you being here. I know we've got audiences over on LinkedIn. We've got a couple different TikTok lives happening at the same time, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are in the world and whatever platform you're on. We're just excited to be hanging with you guys. And I'm going to bring each of the coaches in right now. So you'll start to see them trickling in. I think somebody may have a little bit of technical difficulties. So I'm going to give our main man, Rick, a second to get that sorted out. But how are you guys doing? How you doing, Harmony, Tom, Philip? Welcome back to another Alita stream. So excited to have you guys here.
I am fantastic. How are you guys?
Harmony
Really
talks
good
the
to be
most, so we'll let her go first.
He knows how I work. I'm a chatterbox.
Yep. Yeah. Go ahead, Harmony.
I already said it. I'm great. I'm just getting over 3 weeks of being sick, and I think it's the first day I'm actually feeling really good. So I'm really happy to be feeling full of energy for this live. I was quite excited to be here today and to support you guys starting 2023 in a strong, solid way. So I'm stoked to be here.
Absolutely. And that's exactly why we're here, folks, is we want to be able to really answer your questions today. Maybe you've got the end of the year blues, maybe you're stuck in some place, and we want to be able to help you out. I know if you're, in startup phase, our guy Philip, he's going to be able to really hold your hand, answer any questions that you might have, give you some great advice and feedback. Maybe you're trying to raise funds for your business. You've kind of reached a peak and you want to get to that next hump. Tom's going to be able to really help you out and give you some context and insights. And then if you're kind of stuck in your own way, that's really where Harmony comes in and helps you become, the best version of you. And then for me, if you need help in the social realm, maybe you want to start your own live stream in 2023. Maybe you want to just show up a little bit more often on social media, or you want to build out a more long-term strategy. I'm, very happy to be able to answer your questions here today as well. So thank you all for joining us. I think Rick, I see him backstage. We'll give him just a couple more minutes. So I don't know if we have any questions yet. Let me actually look over in chat and actually, Philip, I'd love for you to just kind of talk about maybe 2 tips that you'd give to any startup to get prepared for Q1.
Oh, absolutely. The startup world is the treadmill of being the chief everything officer, and you can find yourself in a startup mode, moving in a gazillion directions because you're trying to raise funds, you're trying to get new employees, you're trying to talk to the technology folks, plan out your project. You've got a lot of things that you're doing all at the same time. And so what my first tip is always the same no matter what stage you are, and that is begin with the end in mind. Go back to your basics and think about what is it that you're doing, why are you building the business you're doing, what's success look like to you, how do you know you've gotten there? And then just focus on that piece of it and put the other pieces in place. Take this time as we approach Q1 to create the second tip is, now that you know where you're going, create your little bit of org chart and find the key people that are going to do that piece. Now, maybe you're the chief everything officer and you don't have a finance guy. Well, you need to expand. So find the person who can help you with the finance. If you need to find employees, find somebody that can help you recruit. Don't do it all yourself if you're in that very earliest stage where you and a co-founder, you need to build your team, and that's the that first stage. good friend Brian McMahon at Expert talks about the 4 stages. When you're the very earliest of stage startups, you're like the Vikings. All you have is your reputation. You're noisy. You're telling everybody, I'm a new startup and I'm going to be here, and you're just hoping everybody pays attention to you, and you're in that phase. So be very cognizant of what phase of the startup you're in, and match your resources with your goals and objectives. Begin with the end in mind and take it one step at a time. Serial focus, not splitting your focus. So spend a day on one thing and then move on to the next thing. So those are the tips that I have.
Love it, love it. Those are some really, really great tips. Begin with the end in mind. Take it one step at a time. I heard, if you need help in a certain area, make sure that you're reaching out for help in that area. So amazing tips. I think that'll help anyone, even if you're not a startup. Those tips I think will be helpful for you as we look forward to a new year here. So I want to actually kick it over to Harmony. Harmony, I'd love for you to share what are maybe 2 things you can do to put yourself in a better headspace, as we head into a brand new year.
2.
We'll
So
start
cute.
off with 2. Let's just give them a little bit, right? We got some time. We got more time budgeted. Let's give them a little taste,
All
and
right,
then
slow drip,
maybe you'll
slow
get them
drip.
some more tips. Yeah.
One of the things that I think that is really important to honor and look at is we know that we're coming into that phase of having the desire of wanting to create New Year's resolutions. And what we generally tend to think about doing when it comes to New Year's resolutions is focusing on things that are going to be externally recognized, right? So the typical goals are, I want to lose weight or get a 6-pack or, the perfect body. I want to fill my bank account. I want a really amazing job. I want that dream car that I've always wanted. I want a really nice house. I want to live in a beautiful place. Or maybe you're in the country and you dream about moving to the city, or you're in the city and maybe you dream about moving to the country. Whatever your goals are, if you think about all of those goals, they're externally focused and they're things that would actually get you recognized or give you more status in the world. And really, in all reality, the most important thing to focus on is the foundational work, because all of those things that we seek from an external standpoint, if you try to find, source, create any of that stuff and you put it on a solid foundation, then it'll stick. But if you have a foundation of quicksand, in other words, you don't have the self-worth, the confidence, and really knowing your worth, it's going to put you in a place where whatever it is that you create won't stick or stay or last, because you don't have the solid foundation to know that you're worth keeping it, or to really maintain it, or to stand up and show up for whatever it is that you create. So that's kind of where I would start.
Awesome. That is a great place. Having a solid foundation is always going to get you to where you want to be, for sure. So I think we've got our man Rick. He came on. Rick, how you doing? Great to see you. I'm going to bring the other gentleman back up on the stage. Rick, I know we were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but you have a backup machine, which is always helpful. And the great thing about live is we can work out those kinks. We can send you somewhere else. Did you go to Best Buy to get that backup computer?
It actually was.
That's what it was. So Rick, a lot of people are lacking energy as we're in the 11th month of the year, right? It takes a lot to get through a year, especially people that are busy. They've got business going on. Now it's time to maybe see some family that they don't really particularly want to see, and so they got to muster up the energy for that. They're going to be eating probably more than they should. What are some hacks or some tips to really help people get their energy back, especially after a week like Thanksgiving here in the States? For us, there's people that are going to be consuming a lot more than they maybe would, and take a nap and wake up and do it again. So what are some things people can do to make sure they get their energy back, and then they maybe some strategies going into the new year if they want to just start the new year off right?
Yeah, well, look, if when people have energy issues or fatigue, burnout, depending on how serious it is not a quick fix, right? I mean, the quick fixes are the caffeines and the sugar fixes. That's just going to hold you back from making longer term progress. So the way I approach things is looking at the foundation of the body and then rebuilding from the foundation up. So it's a little bit too late right now with Thanksgiving just a few days away to make profound shifts in your entire physiology to better support energy. Just a very kind of an outside thing to think of. Look, if you're a caffeine fiend and you need that boost of caffeine, think of switching to something a little bit healthier, like Dandy Blend. Okay, I'm not promoting Dandy Blend. Well, I guess I am. So what Dandy Blend is it's a dandelion-based coffee, and yeah, it might sound kind of weird, but it tastes pretty damn good without the dangerous effects of excess caffeine or coffee. Do the conscious things of just trying to limit, sugar and processed foods. But here's the thing: as we go into a new year, simple things to do. Number one, look at your circadian rhythm, right? How are you sleep? So I'm going to give you some tips here, but the reason why I'm giving you these tips is to set you up longer term for success. It's not an overnight thing. You don't just go from burnout to like, woohoo, great energy in a day or two. That's not how it works. So I would suggest as we go into a new year, go forward with some key steps in mind that you are going to do for your body, for your health. So number one, examine your circadian rhythm. How are you sleeping? Are you watching, screens late into the night? Do you have disturbances at night keeping you from sleeping properly? That circadian rhythm, optimal circadian rhythm, is very key for the autophagy process. Autophagy is what happens during our sleep cycle when our mitochondria, those little energy production centers of our cells, clean out all the toxins that build up during the day. So if there is impairment in your sleep or circadian rhythm, you're going to wake up the next morning feeling sluggish and blah, right? So that's one fairly simple thing to do without having to make all these dietary changes. But I'm not going to stop there. I'm not going to just ignore the diet. Because if you are consuming sugar or caffeine or high amounts of alcohol or processed foods, toxins, these are not helping the body. So if you consider, sugar, coffee, alcohol, those three things all affect your magnesium level. Okay, much of my work is in the field of mineral-based health and nutrition. So when it comes to magnesium is fuel for our mitochondria. The mitochondria are the energy production centers of our cells. So yes, the sugar, the spiking blood glucose, all that gives you energy short term. So does the caffeine, at the expense of sapping your energy long term. This is why if you want to make longer term progress as we go into a whole new year, the more that you can do to limit those energy sucking things, the more you're going to be setting yourself up for longer term success. The next thing I would say is test, don't guess, right? If you have a business and something is not optimal in your business, you're going to examine that business. You're going to do a full inventory of maybe like a SWOT analysis or an inventory of where are the bottlenecks, where are the weak points, what's holding you back from growing your business to higher levels. But people don't typically do that for their own body. Every single human, everybody, from the sickest of the sick to the most elite of professional athletes, has imbalances, deficiencies, toxicities, everyone. So, which means that you watching this also have imbalances. And without knowing what your imbalances are, you're not doing a full examination of your body. Just last week, someone I know, very successful in his field, had a heart attack. Never even thought about, that possibility. Luckily he survived, but he's now on bed rest for the next 2 months. He can't work. So he's gone from high levels of success to barely, having a wake-up call that, we got to be looking at our own health, because you are no good to your business or your clients if you are sick in a hospital bed. Yeah. So testing is really key. Education is also very important. Learning just the basic things. You don't need to become a rocket scientist in the field of healthcare, but just, having the basic awareness that when you go in and you talk to your doctor and you do a blood test and he's looking at your minerals and your magnesium, your calcium, sodium, potassium, and your levels come back all normal, because they typically do, that blood is homeostatic, meaning that it's always regulating itself, trying to maintain homeostasis at the expense of what's happening at your cell and tissue levels. That's where the imbalances are happening. So just having the awareness that these common tests are not, the be all and end all. There's a lot more that you can explore to better understand your body. And if there are blockages to where you want to be with your health, begin with testing, get the data and understand what's really happening. And then the last thing I would say is, whatever your ambitions are for 2023, everybody can elevate where they are right now by working with a coach, whether it's in the field of health or business, whatever the field is. Work with someone who's been there, who's done it, who has the experience, who can take you to that next level. So that's what I got, Jordan.
Love it. Love it. Those are some great tips. And, it's interesting. I don't know if you guys caught the rhythm here, but everyone basically talked about foundations. It's about going back to the basics. It's about getting to those foundational things, whether that's through testing, whether that's through looking at where the gaps are, right? So I'm going to assume we're going to kick it over to Tom, and I'd love some tips for, businesses that are growing, but they're kind of stuck, right? Maybe they're stuck at this hump and they want to get to that next level. So Tom, we're gonna dismiss all these other fine folks for a minute. What are some things that you can give to the audience that can really help them? Maybe they want to hit a big capital raise. What are one or two tips they can do to get ready?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, Jordan. And I can't believe you're making me go after Rick. Come on, man. He's such a good speaker. He's absolutely incredible. Kudos to you, Rick. And thanks for all the support that you've given me as well with all of your advice. It's been wonderful. Definitely helped me a lot with my energy levels. And just want to give a quick shout out to everybody. Jordan, you've been so helpful with all social media strategy. Harmony, you've been great with personal development, relationships. And then Philip, been really enjoying working with Philip on some startups. Commonly, companies will come to me looking for some capital and they're not quite ready for it. So they need to spend some time with Philip, get their I's dotted and their T's crossed before they can do that capital raise. Just to provide the criteria, generally the growth companies that I'm looking to work with are raising, anything above $3 million. They're generally revenue generating of 600,000 or more per year, or they've already raised 2 to 3 million, so that we can come on board, really help them with client acquisition, sales, international growth, and then we can help them scale. So a lot of the time we'll get companies and say, hey, work with Philip for a year. He'll help you get to the point where we can really help you onboard that capital. Philip always mentions that, a lot of companies think that they need capital, but really they don't. And it's very, very true. So huge shout out to the consultants that we have on the call today. But we also have a lot that are behind the scenes that don't necessarily want to be public facing because they either have too many clients and they're too busy, or they're really happy with their current workload. So, feel free to check out our website here and see some of the other consultants. We are in the process of interviewing some additional consultants to bring them on the team. And we really want to be like that one-stop shop to be able to assist in as many areas as we can. And, as I mentioned earlier, companies will come to me and they need capital raising, but really what they need is a year with Philip, or, their energy levels are totally screwed up and they need some stress management so they can help with Rick, or, they've got some limiting beliefs so they can work with Harmony. As far as working with some companies that are looking to do that capital raise, it's definitely, the bare minimums, the pitch deck, some financials, some projections, have all that organized. And then it's really about, thinking from the investor's perspective, why are they going to invest into you. Really incorporate some innovative aspects to your business model that are separating you from the rest of the companies that are out there. And then find somebody or do it yourself and start networking with family offices, VCs, private equity, and pitch as much as you possibly can. And when you're pitching, take the advice as to when they say no, why are they saying no, and how can you use that to your advantage so that you can improve your offering. In every piece of negativity, there's a lot of value that you can use to your benefit, and realize that you're going to have to pitch a lot. It takes a lot more work than a lot of people think. They come to me or some of my business partners and they say, it's not working out. What do we need to adjust? And it's like, well, how many times have you pitched? And they're like, oh, like 15 times. It's like, well, get ready to pitch a lot more than that if you really want to get some traction, and then learn by doing. Pitch consistently. Take the advice as to what the investors or groups are liking and what they're not liking. And then in the process of doing that, network with as many strategic partnerships as you possibly can to add value and credibility to what you're doing. If you're working with other companies, leverage that credibility, leverage that relationship, and bring in, other companies in different aspects so that when you are pitching, it doesn't look like you're alone. You have added value and other people already believe in you as well. So those would be a couple tips that I would recommend for people that are looking to raise capital in the new year. It's soon as December 15th hits, everybody's pretty much useless until about January 8th. So I would really recommend taking the next 1 month, 2 months here to dot your I's, cross your T's, get everything organized, work on yourself, work on your materials, and then start hitting it earlier in the new year.
Love it. Yeah, and I love the advice that you can't just pitch 15 companies, right? I mean, it's a lot of people think that you can just ask once and then you're gonna have some company tell you yes, but it's about putting in the reps. And I would say that every other coach that's on here, no matter what your service is, if your clients aren't putting in the actions every day, if they're not actually doing the stuff, then they're not going to move the needle. Would you guys agree with that?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to find out. I think we've got a pretty big comment in here. I've been waiting to pose this up on the screen, but I think it's a great time to bring it up. So I think your name is Shirl Dar. Hopefully I said that okay. Last name Kloch Kalar. So it says heading Neo Banking Division as of now. Reorganization has resulted in a majority of our work moving out to some other division. Joined the division 7 months back after 5 years of successful stint as head of compliance management, and you guys can't read the rest, but I've got it on my end. Social media servicing. Feeling stuck as there's no place for us in the new setup due to the reorganization. What advice would you give me so my team is secured and my career doesn't get impacted? So I think I need a little bit more context here. That what sounds like is that you reorganize and you're no longer doing the social side of things. If that's correct, drop another comment because I'd love some more context. But if it's the fact that you're not doing the work that you were doing, I need more context on what it is you're doing now and how you might be able to leverage social media to help that work out and drive traffic to your company. So great comment though. Thank you for joining in. So let's talk goals. I'd love to find out for everyone that's watching this. You might be watching on TikTok or YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform. What are your goals for 2023? We would really like to know down in the comments, and we're actually going to share some of our goals. I think it's just appropriate. I see the other person is commenting. Yeah, share some more context, and we'd love to be able to help you out and answer your question. So let's start it off with Harmony. What's one of your goals for 2023?
I wanted to speak to the comment. I can hear that there is a strong desire to claim responsibility for the people that are in your team. And I just want to let you know that, like, I know that it's in our desire to try to rescue everyone when there is a reorganization of a corporation, because, you know, everyone is going to potentially falter. And if you're able to secure yourself a new position where you can bring everyone over, that would be the ultimate dream, and go for that first. That being said, I just want you to really understand that when it comes to it, your responsibility first and foremost is to do what feeds your soul, to get in alignment with what it is that you're meant to do on this planet, and to make sure that what you're doing is making you happy. If this career path right now is making you happy, then stay on it. But I want you to just think about it for a second and realize that this reorganization is a wake up call for you and for everyone who just essentially is potentially losing their jobs. And these things happen for a reason. And we tend to kind of think, oh my gosh, this is happening to me. This isn't happening to you, it's happening for you. Sometimes you are meant to pivot into a similar position, but sometimes it's a wake up call because your soul has actually been crying to give back to the world in a way maybe you're not on your current path. And it's now your opportunity to step into that dream, to step into that legacy you wanted to create, but you were afraid to do it. So I just want you to think about this, like take a step back and just really reflect in your heart of hearts what your soul is crying to do. And if it is to stay on this career path, then I got you. And we're here to support you and to give you all the advice that we can to see you thrive with all of the amazing experts that we have here. That being said, if you are really dreaming of doing something different and giving back in a way that maybe you haven't stepped into, and you're looking to develop a foundation to see a way to bring that into reality, we can also support you with that. So we all know that when a door closes, a window opens, right? So you just got to get some clarity as to what that window is, and really just focus on yourself. Even though I know as a woman, let's be real, we want to rescue the whole tribe, right? And I completely respect that. So I just want to hold space for your struggle. I can feel where you're coming from and how challenging this is for you. And I respect your struggle and where you're coming from. And all of us right now, right here, are honored to be able to show up for you. You're welcome to go to the website that's scrolling at the bottom there. And you can absolutely book a consultation with any of us, and we can do an intake, and you can share your whole story, and then we can figure out what's going to be the best support system to help you to thrive coming out of this.
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that you shouted out the website. I'm sure no one's noticed it scrolling for the last 28 minutes. But yeah, so make sure you guys do check it out, though. You know, you're going to be able to really get a deeper dive into each person that you see here today. But as Tom mentioned before, there's other people that are involved with the association that aren't on this broadcast. They may not be on any broadcast, but it doesn't mean that they don't want to help you. Like Tom said, they've got other things happening, or they're at capacity right now. But I'd love to find out some of your goals, Philip. We heard from you in the beginning, and what are some things that you're working on for 2023?
Yes. So just as Harmony says, as one door opens, it closes, another one opens, and be on the right path. That is a big reason I joined Alita International, helping the startups here I'm in Southern California. And I noticed they struggled with what I call the Silicon Valley dance. You know, they think they have a new idea, they have to immediately go out and start raising money. And they they talk to people like Tom, and they're just not ready. They're not ready for that investment. And so I realized I just wanted to help a lot more people understand that process and be successful in starting their businesses. If they get started, then they can, you know, that first million is the hardest million to make in revenues, because the odds are stacked against you. You don't have a lot of resources. You don't know what you have an expertise. You've got to add people around you. You know, what do I spend my time on? And I just am called to help those people build tomorrow's future today. You know, I'm kind of the geeky Star Trek guy that wants to see all the cool tech, and I want my life to be easy. And there's a lot of people out there that are the engineers, the brilliant thinkers, the creatives, they've got an idea and they need to bring it to market. And so that's what I'm doubling down on and getting out there. I'm not comfortable in front of the camera, but I'll get comfortable. I'll get on that bike and I'll keep riding until I'm super comfortable. So that's my basic plan for the 2023, to be of service to startups.
Love it. Love it. What a great plan. And like you said, there's a lot of them out there, right? There's a lot out there that need help. They need advice from someone that's been there and someone that has done that. So let's bring up
Yeah,
Rick. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Philip.
yeah. One more comment on that. There's so, with startups in particular, there's so much content out there. Like I can go to YouTube, TikTok, anything, and type in a question and read about all this stuff, how to do a pitch deck, how to set up the accounting, how to do social media, all fantastic stuff. But oftentimes that chief everything officer mode comes in and you just don't know what to spend your time on. That's what you can't get very much on the content. And so really help people make sense of what to work on, when to work on it, and get them forward faster. So that's the only last comment. Thanks.
Love it. Love it. All right, Rick, what about yourself, my friend? What are some goals that you've got for 2023?
Well, I guess I'll touch on both the personal, the internal, and the external. So much of my work over the years has been in the field of education, health education, nutrition education. I mean, I've brought awareness to the copper epidemic to millions of people. I've trained thousands of, I have thousands of students, many hundreds of which are medical professionals, functional doctors, functional diagnostic nutritionists, etc. Beyond the work I do in clinical practice with patients, I'm also primarily an educator. So on the external side of things, I want to continue getting the message out to both practitioners and the general public on ways they can better support their health. Because I am freaking tired of people coming to me with all of these symptoms that their doctors never told them about. It's one thing to have symptoms and you're looking for answers. I commend you for looking for answers, but it's a shame that there are often, I mean, not always, but often there are simple connections behind the symptoms that we can fairly easily rectify. But these connections are never taught to people. So increasing my own ability to help educate and empower people. And then the internal part of it is, I mean, I've been working 16-hour days for years. I'm burning myself out here trying to support everybody else. So my personal goal. So energy on better taking care of myself, and I think a lot of people can probably resonate with that. If you're an entrepreneur, business leader, sometimes we work too hard, and we gotta put ourselves first.
Love it. Love it. Love that advice. And yeah, you definitely have to take care of yourself, right? If you're not taking care of you, how are you going to take care of the people that are around you?
Well,
and so,
luckily I have a few more tools than the average person does to support my own health. But nonetheless, I mean, stress, lack of sleep, it does add up, right? So, I'm doing pretty damn good for the work that I do.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, one of the things that I think all of us realize is we can't be everywhere at once, and so one of the things that I've been working on with our team is just trying to get our content put into more of a digital format where more people can consume it, right? And so that's one of the things that we're working on is having courses available for consumption, where we can't just be available for a one-on-one basis, right? We can't coach every person one-on-one. And so that's a big focus that I've got for 2023 is being able to help. I realize there's so many people on so many platforms that are at step one, and then there's so many people that are at step two. And so being able to have resources available for people that can really walk them through and hold their hand, but also be a part of a community of people that are in the same place that they're in. I think that there's such a market for that, even with all of the content out there. And I think the reason is because a lot of the content out there, and you guys can attest to this, it's all very fluffy. It's not really practical application. It's kind of like surface level. So most people that I see and that I come across with, you guys just need to go back to the basics. We need to get back to, again, the foundations when it comes to optimizing your profile and having that super dialed in, and then the basics of the strategy that you've got and what your end goal is for everything that you're putting out into the social platform. So that's really a big focus for me. And, one of the things I want to bring Harmony back for, because I think one of the things that the person commenting earlier, they said, hey, that's a great way to make me feel valued. So if you can just speak to that a little bit, I know that's one of your goals when you're connecting with people, is to show them their worth and show them their value. So if you can just give kind of a little gift into what an experience on a call with you would be like for them, and how it can really move the needle for people.
Yeah, so one of the things that I think in the years that I've been an entrepreneur, creating my own baby, trying to figure out how to make it in the world, that was a big, huge pain point for me, was that I found that so many of the people who were selling things were trying to put stuff on top of me without even checking my foundation at all. And even looking into my business or what my needs are or where I was at in my business, they would just throw their teachings on top and then promise extreme success. And I'm just trying to figure out how anyone can do that when they have no idea where each individual is. And I just think that it's unethical and it's irresponsible. I'm just going to call it out, to bring somebody on without doing due diligence on your client to make sure that they're actually set up for success with whatever it is that you're going to put on them. So I am deeply passionate about spending time with my client, and I hear your life story. I hold space for you to tell me about your childhood, your struggles, where you came from, what your needs are, what your insecurities are, what your blocks are. If you feel like you're running a treadmill and you've consumed everybody's teachings and nobody's held space for you, and you've just burned a hole in your pocket and you don't have more money to invest, and you're not knowing what to do, or you have all these teachings and you don't know how to actually utilize them to get anywhere, even though you're told they're supposed to give you all this success, but it's not happening for you for some reason, I'm here to help you understand what those blocks are, what it is that's holding you back, why you've consumed so much, and why you haven't integrated it, to help you make sense of all of those childhood things that you went through, and how to create awareness so that you can utilize it to step into what you're meant to do and thrive. Like I said before, everything that happens for you, not to you. And this is exactly why I'm here in this group, is because I'm going to be the one that's going to dive in with so much love and care. And I'm going to honor the person that you are, your dreams, your goals, your struggles, your challenges. And we're going to turn that quicksand into cement. Okay. And that way, when I pass you on to the other coaches, everything they put on top of you, or say you work with somebody else, you don't have to stick with us, but I'm biased, obviously. So whoever it is that you work with, whatever teachings you consume, you'll have that solid foundation to build upon. So you're building up and creating that beautiful empire that you want to create. So I think really more than anything else, I think that's the big focus, is just truly knowing that you've been honored, you've been listened to, you've been validated, you've been seen on a deep level in every aspect, so that you know that your coach, when they're recommending something to you, they're recommending it because they know you, they know your needs. So everything is going to get put into use and you will be successful. So, and this is how we all run. I want to be very clear on that. We are all very ethical. We are all very love-based. We are all very passionate. And as a collective, we want to see you thrive. So I'm not the only one speaking this truth. Right, guys?
100%.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Very well said. Very well said. And again, guys, it goes back to foundations because what Harmony just explained is that everybody's gonna come in with something, right? You've had something happen to you. You've maybe are upset about something in your life, and you've got these barriers or these blocks. So what she's saying is she wants to help kind of give you that clean slate so that whatever you dive into next, whether that's fundraising, whether that's startup help, whether that's getting your health dialed in, you've got a foundation that you're walking into a new foundation with, if that makes sense. So thank you so much for sharing that. We've got a comment here, a amazing thought process. We got another one that said some serious goddess vibes from Harmony. The check is on the way, folks. Whoever that was, the check's on the way. That amazing comment. But it doesn't surprise me that that's the type of comments that Harmony is getting. Let's go ahead and bring everyone back up. So we've still got some time left, guys, and we want you to know, like, this broadcast is not meant to sell you anything. Our goal is, in fact, to make a bigger impact on this planet. And if you go to our website, which is down below. Oh, well, that's some great
Oof,
comments
we
coming
can
in
delete those.
from somewhere. That's exciting. Uh, but yeah, so if you guys are getting value, again, check out the website. The website is really where we operate from. That's the place that you want to go, and you can actually connect with a coach. If what Harmony was saying resonated with you, if you're like, you know what, I think that is something that I need to have that conversation. I have that same situation I'm dealing with right now. Make sure to go to the website. You can book a call with her. Maybe it's Tom you want to connect with. All of their services and all of the ways that they can help are going to be on the website, which is right down on the scroll bar.
Jordan, do you mind if I expand on the goals?
100%.
I was speaking to this lovely goddess over there, and I didn't get a chance to talk about goals.
Let's bring you back up.
Thank you so much. I want to talk about the framework that I actually pulled from this book that's behind me. It's a beautiful journal called Birthday Goals Guide. And what I actually did in this journal was not focus on the year cycle from New Year's to New Year's, but your cycle from your birthday to birthday. And I really firmly believe that that's what an individual should be looking at and honoring. And what I spoke to earlier was looking at the internal. So there's a specific framework, and what you want to do is kind of break things down. And I know you're probably going to want to take notes. This is going to be posted in different places if you want to sit down and revisit this so that you can actually make notes on the framework for yourself. So you want to focus on self first and foremost, the internal framework, that foundation that you want to build, and then you want to build out from there. So first you want to focus on your emotional well-being. Okay, where are you at emotionally? Do you have anger management issues? Do you avoid confrontation? Do you have depression or anxiety? And does that play a role in your world? So look at where you're at emotionally. Then you want to look at where you're at physically, because as Rick was saying, you can wish for a million things when you're healthy, but when you don't have your health, you wish for one thing, right? So take a look at where your physicality is at and where you want to be. Then you want to take a look at food and nutrition. And again, look to Rick, okay? He's amazing to support you when it comes to what you need to do to balance your minerals and your hormones and all that kind of stuff. And he actually does DNA testing, which is next level incredible. I'm excited to go get that myself. So if you want to learn more about that, please reach out to Rick. I would look at health as well. Where's your health at? Do you have any health issues? Are there medications you're taking that you need to maybe revisit with your doctor or whatever it is? Are you healthy and you just want to next level your health and go from a 4-pack to a 6-pack? You know what I mean? It's totally up to you. Or maybe you're just focused on creating a healthier life for yourself so that you can age in a healthy way and stay strong. Then you want to take a look at your spirituality and where that is at and create a beautiful spiritual practice that is relaxing for you, bringing you to a place of peace, rebalancing you, helping you to be able to just balance out the stress. Because as Rick was talking about, when you're high stress, what happens is you go into fight or flight. Okay. And when you go into fight or flight, your immune system gets compromised and then you end up getting sick. And then, of course, you're down and what you can't help anyone. So it's incredibly important to actually cultivate and create a spiritual practice that's in support of your health. Then the foundation of it all is looking at your relationship with yourself. Self-love is fundamental. So building that unconditionally loving relationship with yourself is paramount. Next, you want to take a look at relationships, friendships, family, love, romantic relationships, and sexuality. All should be honored, looked at, and you should be setting goals around all of that to help next level every type of relationship that you have. Then at the end of it, you go into the material world, the external, right? Looking at where it is that you want to be career-wise and what goals you have for your financial advice. Now, there's a specific framework that I use for that. The first thing that you want to do is actually rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, where you're at on all of those things, where you feel you're at. Then you're going to actually sit down and reflect on where you think you are. Let yourself write a little bit. Just let yourself rant on it and how you feel about where you're at. Then you're actually going to stop and congratulate yourself because you're here. You're alive. You put your feet on the floor. You made it through the pandemic. You deserve to celebrate being here, okay? So celebrate yourself and what a fighter you are, what a warrior are, how far you've come, and the fact that you're here. We all deserve some love and some congratulations and some celebration just for being here right now. Then you want to take a look at your grand scale goals. What do you want to do in this life when you kind of are at the end of your life? What is it that you want to accomplish? Then, last but not least, focus on your next steps. What are those next steps that you're going to take to create that for 2023? That wraps it up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Hey, Harmony, somebody in the comments is looking for it. If you can drop that link so that everybody can, grab a copy of that birthday goals guide if they want. Appreciate you sharing that context. We've got about 13 minutes left, guys, and so we want to make sure today our goal is to be able to really get to all of your questions. So if you have any final questions, make sure just go ahead and toss them down in the chat, and we're going to be able to answer them as we wrap up here in the next 10 minutes or so. Have we gotten to everybody's goals? I think Tom, you shared. I think Rick, have you shared?
No,
I think you shared.
I haven't shared yet.
Oh, here we go. Perfect. Let's get Tom to share. What are your goals for 2023?
Yeah, on the personal side, really just continuing to fulfill what I believe to be my definition of success, or what is my definition of success, and it's pursuing worthwhile destinations with the most enjoyable company possible on the most enjoyable journey possible. So the destination for me is impacting and building innovative companies and projects that impact the world in a positive way, and then working with people that I really enjoy, like these wonderful people that are on the call today, as well as a bunch of business partners that I have outside of this association, and then in the most enjoyable way possible. So on projects that I enjoy and with people that I enjoy. And it took me a long time to get to that point. Probably took me 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And over the past year, with actually a coach and consultant who's in our group, who's not currently on the call, has been a massive help with that. And just saying no more than I say yes, to be honest. And really choosing the projects and the people that I want to work with, no matter how much money is on the table potentially, but working with the people that you really resonate with, and same with the companies and businesses as well. So that's on the personal side, really just continuously pursuing that with the next year. It's been incredibly fun this year. And then my goals are more focused around on the personal or business side of things with the companies that I'm working with, as far as the milestones and hitting all the timelines that we have. As far as capital raising goes, we've got some pretty ambitious goals for these companies, and building the sales teams needed to fill that within the companies, and just keep on moving forward. So pretty simple and straightforward.
Love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah, if you guys have goals for 2023, I'm sure everyone that's gonna watch this broadcast, you probably already started to think about it. If you haven't been on social media for the last, 90 days, then you probably haven't seen the countdown of where we are and how many days are left in the year. But if you have been on it, I'm sure this is something that you have thought about. And so another question I've got for you that are tuning in, have you ever worked with a coach? Because maybe this is your first goal of 2023 is, you've been afraid to hire somebody. And, I can tell you this, coaching is one of the best investments that you can make in you, getting someone else's perspective and getting to learn from somebody that is in the place that you want to be, that can really help you on your journey. It's really not an investment that's wasted because, again, you are investing in you. And one thing that I know is if you don't invest in you, no one else is going to invest in you either. You've got to invest in yourself. So if you haven't worked with a coach, maybe 2023, maybe that's going to be your big goal for 2023 is to find somebody that you can resonate with. And that's the great thing about our association is we've got people from all backgrounds, all walks of life, all different skill sets, and everyone on this crew has the same purpose, and that is how do we impact people? How do we get someone from where they are today to where they actually want to be in the future? And that's really the thing that we all have in common in the group. So we've got about 8 minutes left. Anyone have any other advice you want to give out to the folks that are tuning in?
Yeah,
I'll
I
jump
wanted
in here.
to.
Yeah, go ahead, Harmony.
I was going to say that one of the things that Rick didn't mention was that him and I are actually going to be publishing a book, I think, on one of the hottest topics in mental health right now, and that's anxiety. So we got together earlier this year and we really decided that we wanted to collab because the two of us together create a really beautiful holistic picture in health. And so we've been working together and we are almost finished the final draft. And what's really beautiful about this is that we actually are going to be giving it to people that struggle with anxiety, and it will not be published until it is approved by them and they can say that it made a fundamental difference. So this book is called The Ultimate Guide to Overcome Anxiety. And if you want to know more about it, you're just going to have to come to our lives to find out more, because we're going to be letting you guys know when we're going to be dropping that. We will be doing a pre-launch. And if it's something that you struggle with and you want to learn more about it, absolutely work with us. And guys, if you don't know where you stand, if you don't know who you should work with, if you're not quite sure where it is that you want to go or what your blocks are, you just know that there's something not going right in your business, whether you're having a difficult time pitching and getting money, or you don't even have the chutzpah to actually start something. Like you have a dream and you don't know where to start, or say you've got something and you've locked down the name of a business but you don't know how to bring structure to it. Whatever it is that you're struggling with, you can book with any of us and we will happily do an intake with you and then tell you which coach is going to be the best fit. Because I'm going to let you know, we are all besties and we spend a significant amount of time getting to know each other, working with each other, trading services with each other. So we are all very well versed and know each other's work very well. So we can absolutely support you in whatever way it is that you need. Look at this dynamic duo. Rick, did you want to say anything about the book?
Oh, well, I wasn't going to go to the book, but yes, anybody with dealing with anxiety, this is going to be a groundbreaking book because it combines both the spiritual empowerment side of things with the biochemical aspects. So it's a very unique book in that concept and very powerful. What I was going to say in closing here was I would like to challenge the viewers for 2023 to... The theme of this call has tended to be towards foundations. So my challenge for all of you is to invest in the foundation in 2023, as opposed to grasping at the quick fix magic pill. So in my field, in the health field, everybody is looking for the magic pill that's going to fix whatever their condition is. In the business world, you want the magic pill that's going to take you from zero to multi-billionaire overnight. I mean, aside from getting lucky with a lottery ticket, it's not realistic. So I encourage next year, let's set that year aside to relook at the foundation. Look at the foundation of your health. What is going on under the surface so that hopefully you can avoid symptoms developing down the road. It's so much easier to be proactive and preventative than having to deal with emergency or tragedy or sickness. So, and same thing with business. If you want your business to massively succeed, step back into the foundation. What are the pillars that you need to construct in order to create that solid foundation? This is the ultimate word for this call, I think. So that's what I'll leave you with, is focus on the foundation.
Love it. Love it. Great advice. And like you said, that's been really the whole point of the call is get your foundations in order. What a great call to action. Rick, we had somebody actually recommend that we connect. So we're going to reach out to Rupam Das. He's the founder of Actual Labs for research in human behavior and physiology. Sounds like a wonderful person. So we'll definitely make sure to reach out and connect with them. So whether you guys joined in live or whether you're going to catch us on the replay, our goal today was hopefully that you got a little bit of value out of today. Hopefully you got a few notes, a few nuggets that you can jot down that might actually help you move towards action, because without action it's very hard to create momentum. I heard Denzel Washington say once in this commencement speech, he said that it was actually something his mom said to him, but she said, "Hey, Denzel, you can run in place for a really long time, but never get anywhere," right? And so action is truly what creates momentum. We've got to move the needle forward. So thank you so much for everyone that was able to join the call today. Tom, Harmony, Rick, Philip, you guys are all legends in your own right. Appreciate you guys hanging. Everybody that's joined in. We got about 2 more minutes, guys. So if you have any final questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. You guys see our website. If you haven't visited yet, make sure you guys go and check out all of the coaches' profile. You can get a lot more context on who we serve, how we can truly help, and feel free to reach out to all the coaches on social media. Everybody is active. They've got accounts on LinkedIn, on Facebook. All you got to do is go research us on the website, and that'll drive you back to where you can find everybody that's here. So thank you again, guys, for budgeting some of your day to hang out with us. Thank you, team, for all your amazing insights. It's always an honor.
And Jordan, thank you for hosting the call. You always do an amazing job. So greatly appreciate it.
Hey,
and
my
I just
pleasure.
want to call out for Tom there because I don't know if everyone knows Alida. Tom is really the one that founded this and brought all of us together. And I just want to, call out the brilliance that he had and the initiative that he had to want to create a really amazing group of people that are here serving, with love, with passion, that are ethical, and that really want to provide, holistic services for professionals and entrepreneurs. And I think we're incredibly rare for that specific thing, because we're not just here supporting your business from, a capital raising foundational side of things and just the structures and the systems and tools and processes. We're here to support you on a personal level as well. So it doesn't matter what aspect of your life you need support. Tom has cultivated an amazing group of people that are really supporting you holistically. So I just want to call that out and honor Tom for that right now.
Yeah.
Thanks, Harmony.
And Tom definitely probably doesn't want us to say anything because now he's getting all flustered over there. But Tom, you do an amazing job, Tom. All right, so just take the compliment.
Cool.
No,
Thanks.
I definitely second that. It's rare. A lot of people are more competitive over being collaborative, and I think you're just the epitome of collaboration. And for those of you guys that don't know, like, we actually had to change the name. I mean, we've gone through so many website revisions and using some tool I never used that I never want to look at again. There's all these things that it takes to actually get something off the ground, you know. And it's really been a fun process being a part and seeing all the struggles and everybody just kind of joining forces, being creative, and then, you know, making the things happen. Even, you know, though we had to come up with a million other potential names, and I think at the end of the day, it's exactly how it should have been, right? It's a fantastic name, but most importantly, it's a great group of people that truly are here for each other, and that's what's really 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 valuable.
Agreed.
Thank you so
everyone,
much,
for
Jordan.
joining.
Amen. Likewise. We had the pleasure just recently to actually hang out with Philip because he came up from California to Vancouver. So we got to hang out with him because, just so you guys know, we are international, which means that the coaches are in all different locations around the world. So for those of us who have the opportunity to get together when we're in each other's cities, it's super awesome. So it was so cool to hang out with you, Philip, and get to know you better in person.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
I
one
need
thing.
to run. I have a call I have to get to. So
Oh,
I
you're
need to
good.
run. Yep.
We'll see you, Rick.
Awesome. Thank
Bye,
you so much,
Rick.
guys. Take care. Have a great day.
Everyone have an amazing day.
Bye,
Take care.
guys.